Hi everyone! It has been way too long since I have sat down and did an update video for you guys here on YouTube. I did not intend to take a break or to just stop making videos. It just kind of happened, and as you can tell by the title of this video, I am pregnant. I am pregnant with baby number 2. And the day I'm filming this, actually, I'm like, I think more than halfway through my second trimester. I did not intend to go this long into my pregnancy without making any videos, but that's just what happened. Being pregnant with a little rambunctious, energetic toddler just kind of was all consuming between that and the all-day sickness and, you know, the first trimester fatigue and everything. I feel kind of bad because I did so many updates with Jameson's pregnancy, and then this one I have not. But I can't go back, I can't change anything. All I can do is move forward, and I'm hoping to make at least a few update videos for the remainder of this pregnancy to share with you all. Firstly, I just want to apologize for stopping videos altogether. I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent here, but I just feel like I needed to express a little bit of what I've been feeling regarding making videos. I started my YouTube channel documenting our journey with infertility, and then of course, as you all know, I got pregnant with Jameson, and then my content kind of shifted towards pregnancy updates. And then once Jameson was here, I didn't really know what to do as far as making videos. I wanted to keep making videos, but I just felt like I didn't really fit in, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I know a lot of you who follow me still are going through your infertility journeys, and so I don't know. I felt really awkward about posting mommy related things, and I don't know, I felt like the more that time went on without me uploading things, the more difficult it became for me to try to come back and find my place here. And I think I just kind of got in my own head a little bit about it and felt like maybe since so much time has elapsed, no one would really care or no one would really watch my videos. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm making sense right now, but sorry if I keep looking over. I have Jameson here on the monitor. He's sleeping. So if I keep looking over, that's why. I just want to check on him, make sure he's not awake. John and I recently had a conversation about this, and I just kind of came to the realization that I just need to kind of get over myself, in the sense that, like, I need to get over my fears and my worries, and if making videos here on YouTube is something that I want to do and it's something that I like to do and it brings me joy, then I should just do it. And if there's only a few people that watch, then that's okay. I will cherish any of you who watch my videos, but I have really missed it, and I have loved in the past making videos and connecting with you guys and just having this little outlet for myself, just for me. And yeah, so I am here and I'm back, and I'm hoping to continue to be consistent this time around in uploading whatever I feel called to upload. Whatever I feel like filming, I'm just not gonna care about what others may or may not think. I'm just gonna do it if it's something I feel like I want to do. So there's that. Sorry to go on that little tangent, but today I'm excited to just talk with you guys and share with you how we found out about this pregnancy, and just kind of give you a little story time of how we found out. So let's go back in time a little bit to the summer of 2021. I think the last update I gave you guys, I talked to you about how I wanted to see my OB and hopefully get a referral to a fertility specialist to kind of get the ball rolling on things, because we had tried for I should have looked at my last video and written this down, and I didn't, but just going off memory, I think we had tried for around 7 cycles and didn't have any success. Given my previous history with endometriosis and infertility, and the fact that during my C-section, my OB noted some small spots of endometriosis on my ovaries, I was concerned that, you know, that was maybe hindering things from happening for us for baby number 2. The plan was to go see my OB while John was on his last deployment. So last summer he went on another short deployment, and the plan was for me to go to my OB and hopefully come up with a game plan and get a referral to a fertility specialist, and maybe even see that fertility specialist while he was deployed and just get the ball rolling on all of that. Well, because of the state of the world right now and the area we live in, there are way more patients than doctors can handle, and getting into a doctor around here is very difficult. It's a long process unless you have something really urgent going on. So because this wasn't deemed an urgent matter, I waited the entire time John was deployed before I could get my appointment. He was deployed for 3.5, almost 4 months, and I had my appointment with my OB the week he came back home. So I thought I would have been able to get a lot of this process started much sooner than we did, but obviously we know now it's okay because I am pregnant now. But at the time it was frustrating. So just to give you kind of the full picture of what was going on during that time. John had just got home from a deployment. I was about 1 week into a cycle the day I had this appointment with my OB. So it was too late at that point to kind of start any testing or anything. So I saw my OB and we got on the same page. She was in total agreement with me about my concerns about not getting pregnant yet after 7 cycles of trying, and she was totally on board with sending a referral for me to a fertility specialist to check things out further. So our plan was that when my next cycle started, we would do a monitoring cycle. So I would go in for blood work and ultrasounds and more blood work throughout that cycle just to get a baseline of where things are for me. And then after that, I would go to a fertility specialist, potentially look into having another laparoscopy for the endometriosis, just depending on how all of that unfolded. So that was the plan, and my mind was already there. I really did not think that I would get pregnant that cycle, even though we were trying. So it just, I don't know, my mind wasn't all there as far as focusing on trying to conceive that month, or like, could I be pregnant, could I not? It just wasn't on my mind as much as it normally was, just because I was so focused on the fact that we had this plan for moving forward with fertility specialists and stuff like that. This was in September of 2021. My period, my next cycle was supposed to start on a Thursday, and the day before, on a Wednesday, I just suddenly had that urge to take a test. I did not feel pregnant. I truthfully, like 100% did not feel it in my gut whatsoever that I could be pregnant. I just didn't have any symptoms. I didn't feel any differently. But if you have gone through infertility, or even just you've tried to conceive for any amount of time, you are probably familiar with just that random urge to take a pregnancy test. So the day before my period was supposed to start, I decided to take a test that morning. And the only test that I had on hand was a clear blue digital test, which is not my go-to test. I always use the first response regular pink dye tests. Like, those are my tried and true tests. They never have done me wrong with being inaccurate, but I didn't have any on hand. So I just used what I had, which was that clear blue digital. And I took the test and it came back negative. And I even remember, I think I even took a picture or a video of the negative test and sent it to John. And I was like, well, I didn't think it would happen this month, but I'm not pregnant. It says negative, and at least we have a plan now moving forward. But I was ready and eager to move forward with the plan that we had set in place. So Wednesday I had that negative test. My period, again, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. Period was supposed to start on Thursday. Nothing happened on Thursday. Friday came around, and I remember this day in particular because that morning when I woke up, I had some very dull cramping. Like, it was not anything intense. I really wouldn't even say it was extremely painful in any way. It was just noticeable. And I thought, okay, this is it. I'm starting my period. And this is a TMI warning. I went to the bathroom, and when I wiped, there was some blood. And I automatically thought for sure that that was my period starting. I usually always have spotting before my cycle really starts going, and I just thought that's what it was. I was cramping and I had some spotting, and I thought, okay, I'm starting my period today, this is it. Well, Friday ends up happening and I don't start my period. So Saturday comes around, and I thought for sure it would happen on Saturday. Nothing was going on Saturday. I no longer had cramping. I no longer had any spotting, nothing. It was just like I was my normal self, and there was no sign of my period starting whatsoever. Sunday rolls around and still the same thing. No cramping, no spotting, no bleeding, nothing. And I started to get a little suspicious. I was like, this is strange. Like, usually once the spotting starts for me, it continues on until it's my full-blown cycle, and I just had that one day of spotting and then nothing else. And so I was just kind of like, huh, that's a little weird. But I was still so convinced that I wasn't pregnant, considering I took a test the day before my period was supposed to start. I just, in my head, was just like, there's just no way I'm pregnant, right? I already took a test, it was negative. That's that. And Sunday evening, I had run out to the grocery store really quick to get something that I needed for dinner. And I went down the pregnancy test aisle, and I was standing in front of all of the pregnancy tests, and I was like, I'm gonna get one. And I remember reaching for a box of the first response tests, and I put it back. I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. I know how this story ends because I have gone through this many times where I'm like, oh, I must be pregnant then, and then I go home and take a test, and then it ends up being negative, and then my period starts immediately after I get the negative test, and I just didn't want to go through that, which is so funny because normally I'm the kind of person, I will take 10 tests. Even if every single one is negative, I will continue to test until my period starts. And this time around, for whatever reason, I had just taken that one and took that for the final answer. So it's just funny that I didn't end up picking up a test that day. So Sunday came and went, and no period started. So Monday rolls around. So I was supposed to start, again, my period was supposed to start on a Thursday, and we went all of Saturday, Sunday, and now Monday without any sign of my period starting. And Monday morning, John had left for work, and then he came back home because he had like a little bit of a break before he had to go back to work. And we were giving Jameson a bath. I remember we were both in the bathroom with him, and Jameson was just playing around in the bathtub, and John and I were talking. and he was asking me how I was, and he was like, what's up with you? Like, you seem a little like your mind is somewhere else kind of thing. And I was like, you know, I'm kind of kicking myself for not taking or not buying a pregnancy test last night when I was at the store, because I still haven't started my period, and now I'm kind of just wondering what's going on with that. Like, why haven't I started yet? At that time, I was still breastfeeding Jameson. He was, what was he in September? A year and a half old at that point. So I was still breastfeeding him, and John had mentioned, well, you're still breastfeeding him. It could maybe just be that your cycle's a little off because of that, which is a good point. It definitely could have been that, but I had my cycle back since I was 8 months postpartum, and it had been consistent every single month ever since I had got it back, despite the fact that I was breastfeeding. I was like, yeah, maybe, but I've been really regular since I got my period back. And the thing that got me really, really starting to wonder if I might be pregnant was I was on cycle day 35. I have never ever in my entire time of tracking my cycles have never been on cycle day 35 and not have been pregnant. And I told that to John, and even he was like, huh, that's weird. Okay, well, that's interesting. And we just kind of left the conversation at that. We didn't really talk about it any further. So John ends up going back to work, and then he comes home later that afternoon and he's like, hey, I got a present for you. And I'm like, oh, really? What'd you get me? And he hands me a box of pregnancy tests. And of course it was, he knows me so well, because this poor man has probably seen more than his fair share of pregnancy tests in his life, thanks to me. But he picked up a box of First Response regular pink dye tests for me. And he was like, all right, like, you should go take one right now and see what it says. And I was like, no, like, I was again starting to feel that nervousness and that doubt of like, this is silly. Like, I'm gonna go take this test. We're gonna get our hopes up, and we're gonna think for those 3 minutes, oh, maybe I could be pregnant, and we're gonna get excited. And then the test is going to be negative, and then boom, I'm going to start my period, and we're going to be sad. And I just don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with that right now. And he's like, come on, just take a test. Let's find out together. And so I went in the bathroom and I took a test. I'm really, really sad that I didn't record any of this, because I just didn't think I was pregnant. I really didn't. And I thought there was like, I had that like split second thought of like, maybe I should record this just in case. And then I thought, no, like, I'm not pregnant, and I don't want to deal with the deleting of the video, and I don't know. Anyways, I was just being silly about it, I guess. So I take the test and I put it immediately. As soon as I pee on the stick, I put it back in the packaging and bring it out to the kitchen where John was. And I just had it hiding in there basically until the 3 minutes were up before we can check the test. We were standing in the kitchen and my timer went off, and I said, okay, do you want to look at it? Do you want me to look at it first? Like, who wants to check it out? And I ended up grabbing the test, and I started pulling it out of the sleeve. Before I even pulled it out all the way, I saw 2 lines, clear as day. Like, I just kind of like out of the corner of my eye. I wasn't even looking at that test. I was just pulling it out so John and I could look at it together, and out of the corner of my eye, I could see 2 lines, and immediately I was just like, oh my gosh, no way. Like, there's no way this is happening right now. And John was like, are you serious? He's like, wait, you wouldn't joke about this. Let me see. And like, we were both just like, what is happening? Like, I was crying and like hyperventilating almost, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like shaking and just feeling so many emotions all at once. Just shock and disbelief and I don't even know what. It was just one of those moments where I was overwhelmed with emotion. That's a good way to describe it. Overwhelmed with a variety of different emotions. And John even like whipped out his phone as fast as he could once he realized what was happening and tried to record our initial reactions. Yeah, it was just definitely one of those moments I will never forget. I am so happy that John was there this time because John was away for training when I found out I was pregnant with Jameson, so he wasn't here and we didn't get to share that initial moment together, and this time we did, which is very special to both of us. I could not believe it, and honestly, like I said, I'm like halfway through my second trimester and half the time I'm still like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant, like this is crazy but amazing. Crazy in a good way. And obviously we are just so happy and so excited about this. But anyways, going back to that moment of finding out, of seeing that positive pregnancy test, I was just in shock and disbelief, and I thought, okay, this test is probably faulty, right? Like, I don't feel pregnant. This is so weird. For some reason, I thought since I had Jameson and I experienced a full-term pregnancy, I thought if I ever got pregnant again, I would just know right away. Like my body would just be like, boom, like, all right, you're pregnant, and I would immediately have all these symptoms. And so the fact that I didn't have any aside from my late period, I was just like, oh, this has to be a false positive, right? And John had got me a box of 3 tests, so I still had 2 other tests in that box that I could take, and he was like, you should go take another one just to see. And I was frustrated with myself because I normally always pee in a cup and then dip the stick in the cup when I take a test, and this time I didn't. I just peed on the stick because I don't know, I just didn't think it would be positive. So I was like, darn it, now I have to like wait until I can actually have enough urine to take a test. So I immediately just started chugging a bunch of water, and I don't know, I feel like I really didn't wait that long, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, somewhere around there, before I felt like I could pee enough to check the test. So this time I did actually pee in a cup just in case anything went wrong with that test. And this particular test, it was like a variety pack in the box. So there was the regular first response test, there was a rapid result, which I had never taken a rapid result one, and then a digital. So I decided to do the rapid response, which I think only takes a minute before you can read the result. And this one I did record on my phone. I recorded the test processing, and it was so cool to see it, because as soon as I had dipped it and set it on the counter, immediately, as soon as the test started developing, that second line was there, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is real. It was really cool to see that immediate second line, and just kind of have another like confirmation of you're pregnant. So that was really cool, and I ran out there as fast as I could to show John, like, this test says it's positive too. I can't believe it. Like, we were both so shocked. It was just like a really awesome day, but also a very emotionally draining day as well. The next morning, I went ahead and took another digital test, and that one this time was positive. So that was reassuring. I guess just for whatever reason, the day before my period was supposed to start was apparently too early. I know those digital tests are not as sensitive to HCG as the regular dye tests are. I really feel like had I taken a first response test the day before my period, I think I would have seen a second line. It probably would have been faint, but I think I would have seen it. But that's not what happened. And now I have this kind of funny story to tell about how we found out. So yeah, that's how we found out about this pregnancy. I really wanted to share that little story with you guys and also just document it for my own memories as well. We are beyond excited and happy, and we feel so grateful and blessed that we're having another child. And of course we are nervous and worried and a little scared all at the same time, but mostly we're very happy and excited. And I really do look forward to sharing the rest of this journey with you. So my plan moving forward with videos, I don't think I'm gonna do weekly updates like I did with Jameson's pregnancy. My plan right now is to do a first trimester recap video, so I'll just sit down and kind of share with you guys overall how I felt during the first trimester, and then I'll probably do the same with the second trimester, since I think I'm going to start my third trimester just in a couple of weeks. So I'll probably just do a recap video for each trimester, and then maybe just do a few updates here and there throughout my third trimester to let you know how I'm feeling then. But I'm so excited to be pregnant and to be sharing all of this with you guys again. If you are still here with me watching my videos, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you. Leave any comments down below for me as far as like if you have any questions. I'd love to do some sort of Q&A video at some point, and definitely just want to share more like day-to-day life stuff with you guys. We have a lot going on besides the obvious, besides the fact that we're going to be having another baby. There's a lot of other crazy things that are going to be happening here pretty much right around the same time that we have this baby. So I'll probably do an update video for you guys as far as like what the future is going to hold for us these next several months. Yeah, I would like to share that with you guys, but that's going to have to be a whole separate video. I do not have time to explain all of that right now. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another video very soon.